Good day to you. My name is Maria Kądzielska and this is Poland Daily Culture. Today we'll talk about the most important gallery of contemporary art in Warsaw, and this is, of course, Zachęta. With us is the spokesperson of the gallery, Marta Ławacz. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you very much for invitation.
And in the previous episode, we talked a little bit about the history of the building and the importance of this institution, which was Zachęta, and what kind of role it played previously, what kind of role it plays right now, because it's changed. So, of course, right now, let's switch to what's going on in the museum currently and what our viewers can also see if they're going to visit. And one of the projects, which I would say brings a lot of attention, is Natalia Romik's exhibition called Hideouts. And just to explain it, is basically the places where Jews were hidden during the World War II. Because as we all know, a lot of Poles were hiding Jews during the World War II, and those places are somewhere in Poland. And right now, what you do with them in the gallery?
Yes, Natalia Romik, she's an architect. She's art performer. She's interested in places where Jewish people has been hid during the Second World War. She's looking for them.
So she herself is looking for that?
With her team, yes.
With her team.
Yes.
So there is a part of the scientific project as well, yes?
Yes, of course. At first, this is, for me, I think it is a scientific project, because she was looking for these places, asking many people, make a lot of research. Then she was checking them scientifically. So she make a 3D scans of these places, mapping them, and make a documentation of these places as well.
So trying to preserve them a little bit for other generations, because in lots of places they were part of the cemetery, a tree trunk. So yes. Some places which are, I would say, vulnerable, and also it's hard to, it's not like a museum, or it's not well preserved, but of course a huge part of history.
Yes, of course. This place at the cemetery, Jewish cemetery in Warsaw, she's working on it to preserve it, to keep it as it is, and to make a possibility to visit this place to see how it was working during the Second World War, because it's a huge room built under the tomb.
Okay, so that's one element which is definitely scientific.
Yes.
But coming up to the gallery, so what actually are you displaying in Zachęta in the gallery?
So the first this exhibition is downstairs. There are 3 rooms, and the first room, this is introduction, and the second one is the artistic project, because Natalia Romik thought that these places have to be somehow shown in very attractive way and preserved, and she made a cast of each of them.
Copied them,
Yes, the part of them. It looked like a sculptures, and she put a silver on that. So they are shining, they are really beautiful, and this room full of these places, these objects, it look really, really attractive. And I think it also make you feel how it was. You can almost, you cannot touch it, but you can see, if you see a hole in the floor, these objects, it look like a sculpture, but you can see how it was looking, yeah.
And how it was functioning as well.
Yes.
So you can feel a little bit the same way as a person hiding during the World War II.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is the artistic element of it, which is also surviving. I've heard the name of architecture of survival architecture. Yes, so places which were used with a different purpose as they generally at the beginning were created, because and in order to save lives during the World War II.
Yes, and these places are unexpected. As you said, there is a tree, the oak Joseph, which kept inside 2 people during the Second World War, and they survived. So it was, this oak is really huge, so there was a lot of place inside, and they lived like in the chimney.
It sounds a little bit crazy, but also fascinating.
It is fascinating history. This oak was in the garden, in the park, near the house where the German lives during the war. But they didn't find these Jewish people inside this oak. It was so safe, you can say, yes.
Well,
There are two caves in the Ukraine, because we are talking about old Poland before the war. So a lot of these places now they are on Ukraine.
Ukrainian soil.
Yes, there is a room built under the kitchen in Żółkiew. It is also in Ukraine. So there is a lot of places. This place in cemetery in Warsaw. There is Oak Józef, which is also interesting. There is a place in monastery in the, I think in the wardrobe. You went there like in Narnia story through the wardrobe.
Through the wardrobe. So
yes.
behind the wardrobe was a
yes.
hiding place.
Yes.
So a lot of, actually, so definitely it is a trigger also for an imagination, because it's a little bit like hide and seek for children, because usually children
yes.
look for places to hide.
Yes.
But, well, all fascinating. So, of course, to all of you, the viewers of Poland Daily, we strongly invite you to go and visit the Henta Gallery and to look at those places. And, of course, to read about those stories, because it takes us somewhere else, back to the World War II, and inspires our imagination in a wonderful way, even though those stories were pretty horrible. And again, thank you for watching our show.